Hello, what's up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR, and every once in a while I like to hop on eBay and look up a certain franchise, put rare at the end of it, and just see what pops up. Recently, I've been spending an unhealthy amount of money on some Sonic stuff, so let's look up some more rare Sonic stuff on eBay. If you like this idea, let me know in the comments and let me know what kind of franchises should I look up on eBay and see what pops up. But let's get right into it. Sonic the Hedgehog rare. I already found something I actually really want. This is something that I've wanted since I was a kid. I remember finding this at Toys R Us a long time ago, and I always asked my mom if I could get it, and then she always said no. And now it's about 140 bucks or best offer. And this one is actually in surprisingly good shape. Okay, never mind. There are a few dings on it, but that's okay. This is something that I'd probably willing to spend like 100 bucks on, but preferably I'd want it in the box because I remember seeing it as a kid in the box and kind of want to just keep it that way. Ah, yes, the Sonic OVA as a DVD. I've had this on VHS since I was a kid, and I recently got a DVD of this, but not with this art in particular. There's two arts made of this. There's this one that you see right here, and then the one that's more based on the VHS. That one is probably the rarer one out of the two. I don't see that one very often. I wouldn't spend $200 on this. It's not worth it. Unless you really want it physically, then sure, but for me, it's also the cover art that makes it for me, and this is not it, Chief. I want the old one. Now, this is actually something relatively new. So as of this recording, I haven't seen this in the wild yet, but these are starting to hit stores now, and I'm pretty confident it's gonna be places like Walmart, and I think they're gonna make a play set with having a version of Sonic like this. I'll buy the play set, but I wouldn't spend $27 on it. It's going to drop down in price because people are going to find it within the next couple of weeks. Unless somebody on YouTube really wants to review this thing that bad, I'm not one of those guys. I'm sorry. I'm good. This is cool. I'm not spending $275 on it, but that is pretty cool. Imagine having that on top of your Sonic figure display. Like, you have a whole bookcase just full of Sonic figures, and then it's just on top of that. That is so cool. Like that. I love how people can just put rare at the end of something just to try to inflate the price on eBay. This is an example of that. The Sonic the Hedgehog checkered racing jacket from Box Lunch. This is an XL, so this would be the one that would fit me. I remember my fiance was trying to get me to buy this for so long, and recently it's been hopping on clearance on Box Lunch. This is something that would be ironic for me, because as much as I love Sonic, funny enough, I think it was Kyle Petty that won some race when I was born, so that's what I was named after. Surprising KGR lore fun fact, there you go. So there is a part of me that thinks I should get this specifically for that reason. But $150 is insane. Like, I always thought this thing was ugly. I don't know who likes this thing, but I don't know. I feel like I need it for the lore. I always wanted to collect these cards, these Cybercell Sonic cards. This is from Series 2 specifically, but I haven't collected these cards, and I kind of want to, especially since I'm getting that new binder from Limited Run where it shows the Sonic Adventure art. Especially look at all the other characters here, like, yeah. Guys, hear me out. What if we buy a whole box of Series 1 specifically and just do a video unboxing these? Because if that's something that you would like to watch, I will 100% buy a box of these just to make a video. And if it goes well, I'll keep buying these. Now, this is something I'm genuinely actually looking at. So I recently started collecting the Sonic 4-inch Jax figures, and I don't have a Charmy. Now, the Charmy is only in the 2.5-inch line, and $60 for what's supposed to be a $5 figure is pretty insane, but they typically go for about like double this, I believe. So this is something I do want. However, right now I don't have that money, and I feel I'd rather spend whatever other price I actually have money rather than spending $60 that I don't have. So unfortunately, this is something I do have to pass on today, but this is something I genuinely do want to grab here really soon. I've never seen these Sonic Hot Wheels in the wild. I've been looking at Hot Wheels like almost my whole life, and I've never seen this once, like in the wild at least. And it'd be so cool, but look how ugly this is. Sweet Lord. No, I'm good. I'm good. Seeing this actually gets me excited because this is actually the first Sonic figure to ever exist. And thankfully, it's not very expensive, but getting it on the card would be a lot cooler personally. But having the first Sonic figure, so neat. I love that. A signed Sonic poster. But then it shows like different sizes and a really cheap price. I don't think that's real. Yes, finding fake stuff on eBay. You gotta always love that. But, oh my God. My fiance actually just showed me a TikTok of this recently. But this is a genuine prop from the movie. I can't believe this. I can't believe I actually found this. Oh my God. This is something I genuinely really want in my collection. Rosewood Malice and Green Hills. Oh my, yes. So this is something that you don't see in the forefront or anything. Like you'll see it in like the background for stuff. But it makes you question, like, how many of these things actually exist? Like, is there a description down here saying how many they got? So I called my fiance. She might actually let me buy this. This is something I actually might buy today. Also, these posters are so cool. Like, this little shadow poster right here, I actually do kind of want. This I have. Oh, this is a set of 4. Okay. But I do want this shadow poster. This is pretty cool looking, too. We're just going to put this to the side and save that for later because that is something I'm genuinely gonna get. Imagine having this shadow plush. This is from Sonic X too. That's actually pretty funny. Imagine getting this for Valentine's Day. Imagine someone spending this much money on you on Valentine's Day. I come from poverty, so I couldn't imagine spending this much. No, oh my God. But this is pretty sick though. I do like this a lot. Oh yes, this actual Sonic card game. I know there's actual Sonic card game. I remember seeing packs of these at a flea market like a couple of years ago, and I didn't get them, but I've thought about doing it. This is one of those things that I actually thought about buying at the time when it came out, but I never did because I don't think I ever found it in the wild. And because at the time, like, Chow figures weren't very common. These aren't the first Chow figures ever made, but it was really awesome at the time when they came out. However, now you can get Chow figures that look so much better than this, like from Jakks Pacific. The only thing that makes this nice is that they have multiple different expressions, which is something that I wish that Jakks would do. Especially when it comes to the standard variant of it, it would be nice to have like a giant multi-pack of multiple different types of Chow. Then of course you see some plush on here that are pretty worn out. This is something that's wild. I don't have the box for this anymore, but I do still have the Zavok and Infinite figures. They're actually on the shelf, like somewhere in that region right there. They're actually in the back of the shelf. I remember at the time I thought like we don't have Infinite or Zavok figures. I gotta have this. Like I would love to have these with my Jazzwares figures. And even though the figures are kind of meh, like it's still nice to have them. Are they actually really worth that price? Probably not, but it's neat to have. I love seeing this little statue right here. I forget how much I paid for mine. Or somebody bought it for me. I can't remember. Like I mean, I know I have this in my collection now, and I remember at the time it was around that price or so. So this is on my wish I could have got when I was younger. So this is a rare. It's a 20th anniversary. That's actually kind of cool because it goes in part with Sonic Generations. It's a Wii remote charger. So he charges 2 remotes. As you can tell, he's holding up his little peace sign, his little number 2. But he's falling apart. Oh no. I guess I gotta glue that back together or something. I don't know. But I love the idea of this. This is so cool. Like, I know the batteries themselves are probably hot garbage because they never really last all that well. But I love this. I would like to have this as like a piece on the shelf. But I don't have space for that. And if I'm gonna buy that Mean Bean thing, I'm not gonna spend that kind of money. What is this thing? So it's from Sonic Adventure. That's pretty neat. Oh, is this a necklace or a keychain? What is this? There's a dog tag in there too. Oh my goodness. That's actually pretty rad. I like that a lot. Imagine spending $70 on a Jazzwares figure. That's insane. So when it comes to the Jakks Pacific figures, I don't have a Metal Sonic yet, at least a regular Metal Sonic. I have a Metal 3.0 now, but not this. But a part of me is like, do I want the metallic version? Because even though it does look really cool, he doesn't have like silver parts, so it kind of clashes, as well as it wouldn't blend in with the other metal figures that I have. So I'm like, do I really want this version? But the lenticular ring note does sound pretty cool. $180? No, I don't need it. No, I'm good. Imagine spending $90 on this cup. I have one of these right now. I got it at the theater, like when I saw the movie, but I spent like $300 on merch that day. Don't question my financial decisions, but this is something I genuinely do want to get in the future. So it's an on-card Sonic Jazzwares figure, and this is during the era where the figures are still actually kind of good. So maybe one day, not anytime soon, especially for $300. No, I can't do that. But this is something I genuinely do want. Thankfully, I started collecting my figures a little bit early for the Jack specific stuff. I did get this as soon as possible because it's chaos. They never had a chaos figure before. But at the time, it was like a $35 figure. And one of my friends, shout out to Bryce for buying this for me. It's been in my collection since, and I've seen this in the wild at least twice. And I've gotten it for a friend at one point. But it's crazy to think that it's $100 now. So wild. I have this plush. And it was the first Sonic plush I really like fell in love with. This is something I've wanted so bad since I was a kid, and I still have that one, thankfully, now. But this is from Denny's. There was this and a Knuckles based on Sonic Underground, and Sonic would have like this little necklace, which is really cool. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I feel like this is like one of the better, like smaller Sonic plush. It's definitely better than what we can get now. But this is something I genuinely want to get. This is less than 30 bucks, not bad. It's a Rouge, and that Neo Metal Sonic, I want that so bad, but I cannot find it. But this is a figure that's like out in the wild now, so I'm not gonna spend this $30 just yet. I'm gonna see if I can find it first. In fact, I was gonna go toy hunting this morning, but instead I decided to make this video, so love you guys. Whoa. Imagine spending $9,000 on one of these guys. It's a big plush too, so that is pretty cool. I want to spend $9 grand, but that is pretty cool. I have the one from GE, the smaller one, and I'm happy with that. But having this, like, as almost 11 inches, that would be pretty cool. Behold, the only Orbot figure that was ever made. This is from Tomy. They did a 2-pack based on Sonic Boom where you got Orbot and Cubot, and thankfully I did get those. I can't remember if I found them in the wild myself or waiting until 2001 sent it over my way. I can't remember, but I got it. I always admire the look of this statue. This thing looks so cool. This is something I do want to get eventually, but I don't want to spend 60 bucks on it yet. Maybe one day, but there's also a classic Sonic that can go with it that would look really nice as well, but nah. Hey, look, there's a classic Sonic that would look good with it. Hey, I have this little Sonic right here on my shelf. It was one of the first figures I've gotten when I started collecting the Jazzware stuff. My mom got it for me for Christmas. It's a thing. I love the look of this Sonic plush so much. This is actually something I genuinely want. Like, this is actually really cool. I wouldn't be willing to spend $500 on it, but he looks so cool. One of the things I don't like about eBay is sometimes the same stuff, whether you're like multiple pages in, starts to just pop up again and again. I'm happy I didn't spend $100 on this Infinite. That's kind of insane, but okay. I don't know what's up with this Knuckles figure, but I kind of like it. There was one point where I could have gotten Neo Metal for about 30 bucks, and now he's about 80. I hope I can find him in the wild soon. Oh. So, I was told about this recently. So, apparently there's 2 different versions of the Omega figure, where around the eyes, some of them are like grayish and some are black. The one that I have is gray. And that one I actually found in the wild when I was hunting for Sonic Movie 2 figures back when they were still new. So now I gotta get this variant. I love seeing this poster so much. So this is a poster when people like talk about like, when they talk about the cast of Sonic characters, they typically reference this poster and they just pull up a picture of it. This is something I love so much. I actually do have that hanging above the bed that me and my fiance sleep in. So this is a special piece for me. And it's not because it hangs over our bed. It's because of the fact that when my fiance and I first started dating, she saw this poster hanging on my ceiling and she asked about a certain character. Then I started to explain the character, went deep into the lore, and then she fell asleep. So I know that Sonic the Hedgehog is a good bedtime story for her, so cool beans. But yeah, this poster is very special to me, and I'm happy that this still exists, that people can still get it. This thing terrifies me. This from Toy Island? There's no way. I know Toy Island stuff. This is not Toy Island. This is something else. What is this shadow? This looks like a 3D printed classic shadow. Yeah, that is 3D printed. That little classic shadow is actually kind of cute looking. I wouldn't call it rare, but it is cool. Imagine owning Sonic X on VHS. Yeah, I'm kind of down. Now, if I can get a genuine GameCube controller of Sonic, I'd love that. Yeah, like here's another listing of Charmy, but it's like 140 bucks. That's why I'm like half debating on buying that one that's like 60, which is still insane, but like, it's something I want. Unless they surprisingly make a 4-inch one, like that's our only option. And I hate it when you gotta have a placeholder figure, essentially. I don't remember the Chris figure being this ugly. I think it's a scratch on the nose that also does make it look a little bit uglier, but this is something I've wanted when I was a kid, and I would have settled for having this be my Sora action figure, or even having a Sora action figure and have that be a placeholder for Chris with my Sonic figures, because they look so similar. It's so funny. This is something that disgusts me, actually. So a Super Shadow figure is $350. Thankfully, I do have a friend who is willing to help me out and get one for about 10 bucks. And I want to give him a shout out when that day finally comes, but this hurts me. We need a new Super Shadow figure. But like, I'm looking at this one, but I don't know why, but the face actually looks really good compared to the regular Shadow figure we have. I feel like it's just the fact that he's yellow and things just look more defined, maybe. I don't know. But this figure looks really good. I kind of want this. But even I don't like the shading of yellow they use on here. Like, it doesn't actually match what Super Shadow really looks like. One day this will be in my collection, and I'm very excited. Like, finding all these figures is almost fun because, you know, like starting a new collection and the journey of that. But the fact that I can't find these things in the wild makes me so upset, and it makes me genuinely wish that Toys R Us was still around, because finding these things in Toys R Us where there would be half an aisle of peg after peg just full of these figures made it so much more fun. I wouldn't mind spending that extra $3 to $5 for a figure that I have a better chance of finding compared to the 2 to 3 square feet that you have at Target or Walmart and hope for the best. It's not fun anymore. I miss toy hunting when Toys R Us was still around. Call me a boomer, but it was a better time. I'm pretty confident I talked about this poster in my last rare Sonic eBay stuff, but this is so cool. I think this is such a cute thing. Imagine spending $60 on a poster. Like, that's just literally a stick figure of Sonic. I'm pretty confident my girlfriend, or I'm sorry, my fiance would leave me before we even get married. So I can't. It's cool though. Oh, I'm starting to collect these IDW comics as well, but I'm getting them like when they're actual like books instead of like regular comics. And I'm genuinely loving it. I think it's a great time. I thought about getting this for my Jazzwares collection, but I didn't do it. Instead, I'm collecting the Jack specific ones, and I do have the Jack specific cream. I just gotta do a video on it, and it's stinking cute. And I'm happy I'm collecting those. I almost bought this because I wanted a Tails figure with the planes so bad, and I didn't do it. And honestly, I don't really have any regrets on not picking it up. Oh, okay. So this is an updated version of the movie 3 Tails. So the one that I have is an early variant where it has gray like souls. This one has black souls. So that's interesting. I may or may not grab another one if I find one in the wild just to get the newer variant. Sonic Youth? We don't want that. That's not what we want. That's not Sonic the Hedgehog. This is something I wish I could have gotten at the time when it came out. And I had an opportunity to get it. I could have just phoned a friend or just buy off eBay or something and never did. But I never did. And it's crazy because this actually doesn't match the model from the show at all. This is based on more of the game than anything. Even though it says, as seen on Cartoon Network, it does not match a regular Shadow head. I like the idea of this, but I'm happy I'm not spending $450 on it. I think if I find one in the wild for cheap, I'll get it, but like, this is not something I'm dying for. I had the Bendy figures at one point and I sold them to my cousin. And I feel bad that I sold it to him, but oh well. But these figures actually do look really good. I mean, I like my articulated figures better, but I think the heads on these look better compared to what the 4-inch like articulated figures gave us. If there's a way to swap them, I'd be happy. Look at that. That is funny. I love this. This is real, but like the origin of Sonic. A part of me wants this. I wouldn't spend $200 on it almost, but it's cool. It's really cool. Thankfully, it is archived on the internet. It's something that like it would be nice to have in the collection, but just reading up on it, I'd just be happy with that. That's fine. I remember seeing this comic on the Sonic Sonic Mega Collection, I believe. The first issue. It's pretty cool. Is this something I would want? I think it'd be neat if I got it, but like it's not something I'm like dying to get. So I'm not worried about it, but this is still really cool. It's funny how somebody else wants $75 for that same poster. Cool. This is cool. Character sleeve. How big is this thing? Oh, it's like a card sleeve, I guess. Okay, okay. Is it only one individual sleeve? I guess for $1.50 I wouldn't do it. It's cool. But I wouldn't do it. Sonic Universe is 40 bucks? I feel like I have this. I'm pretty confident I have this. Hey, look, an Amy figure with her hammer. I think the same friend who's hooking me up with the Super Shadow, I think is also giving me an Amy. I hope that's true, because I do need an Amy. And a Sonic Runners cup. That's cool. I miss Sonic Runners. That was such a fun game. The Sonic Adventure Bendy figures. Funny enough, like these are some of the first Sonic figures I ever had as a kid. In fact, the Knuckles, this Knuckles right here is actually the first Knuckles figure that I ever had. So it's wild to see these, and I'm pretty confident I still have them in the basement somewhere. I almost bought one that was in the box at Too Many Games a couple of years back, and I passed on it and I went back, it was gone. But hey, I snooze, I lose, but one day it would be nice to actually have them like in my collection again. Deco figure. So there's only like one set of Deco and Boko figures. I think that's what they're both called. And I forget what the line itself is called. But that whole line of Sonic X figures, I would love to have. I remember at the time when I wanted them when I was younger, they were relatively cheap. And now they're so expensive. But maybe one day, but not anytime soon. I remember getting these Toy Island Sonic X figures at KB Toys when I was younger. That's a KB Toy sticker, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Only $6 for this guy. Imagine only spending $6 on a big figure, but quite literally, big figure with a fishing rod, 2 Chaos Emeralds, and a Froggy figure. Keep in mind, at this era, this was probably around like 2006, more or less. It was definitely a better time. Yo, this Sonic, this is so cool. 20 inches. I want that. That's great. Every once in a while, I see this shadow from Sonic Prime in the wild. I kind of want to get some more as trade bait if I ever find it in the wild, just so I can get other figures I need. But I hate the idea of scalping, but this is something I actually kind of want. So the cover of this is very reminiscent to Sonic OVA. This is something I think I covered in my last video. But the comic itself does not reflect Sonic OVA at all, but the front cover of it just screams OVA, and it's so cool. I miss the idea of the Sonic Archie comics, but oh, the 10th anniversary statue. So this would have been for Sonic Adventure 2 technically, but the pose itself screams Sonic Adventure 1. If I could find this in the wild, I'd grab this. Only 500 made, $1,600, no thank you. But I wonder who made them at the time, because I think Toy Island made the 15th anniversary one. This is so cool. I miss the Archie comic so much. I remember seeing something like this. I wonder if this is actually the one that the person has, because this looks like stock photos. This is number 500 of 500. Was this something that was in like Loot Crate, I think? Oh, it's UK release. Oh, okay, that's it. This is cool, but I'm more of a modern Sonic guy myself, so I'm good. And I already have Sonic shoe keychains on my little bookshelf over here. Actually, you could probably see one. Interesting. A yellow wisp. Interesting. A Sonic, what is it? Santa hat. Huh. Another wisp. Oh my goodness. That's cool. I don't need it. I don't need it. It's so cute. Now it's starting to mostly repeat the same stuff over and over. And this is something I wish I would have gotten back in the day. I don't remember ever seeing it in the wild though, so I never got it. A part of me wants to keep going, but like the pages just never end. So I think this is probably where I'm gonna stop. This is gonna be the last page I look at. Oh, I remember seeing this. I remember seeing this in the Sonic Mega Collection as well. I love the covers of these so much. But that about does it for the eBay hunting. This is really fun, but I do want to do something outside of Sonic next time. So if you have any ideas on what I should look up next, let me know down below. And if you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description, there's going to be my social media. And thank you guys for watching. I love you guys to death. And I'll see you on the next one. So peace.